Hello and welcome to Keys to a Successful Semester and Organization Workshop. So the road to a successful semester is definitely a long one, and during times like this it can sometimes seem even longer, but it truly begins now. At the beginning of the semester is the best time to get yourself set up for a long semester of success. So throughout this presentation, we will learn how to evaluate current practices of your everyday life and recognize areas that organization could help improve. We will also select various organization tips and integrate them into your routines. So let's start off with a current skills quiz. So let's take a couple minutes and complete this organization skills quiz, either on a separate piece of paper or if you want to screenshot this and print it out, whatever you want to do is totally fine. I'm going to mute myself for the next several minutes while you do this, and then we will touch base on your scores in just a minute. Okay, if you need any additional time, please just pause the video, and then once you're ready to get started, you can resume it. So once you have all the questions filled in, place your total points and place them on the line next to number 16. So what does my score say about me? If you scored within the 46 to 60 point range, you should be an organizational coach. You have developed strategies for organizing your materials and your time, and keep up the great work. If you scored a 31 through a 45, you have some solid organization skills, but there is some room for improvement. Let's look for times when you don't have the materials you need or feel disorganized. Ask a trusted adult to help you identify some strategies to help improve your organizational skills. If you scored a 15 through a 30, it's time to rein in the chaos a little bit. Let's ask a parent or a teacher or continue with this workshop to help establish some routines for organizing your materials and your schoolwork. It will take a little bit of work, but once you develop your organizational skills, you will feel more in control of your day and may even see improvement in your grades as well. Here would be when I would have an optional share out. So times where we could discuss our scores, think about some things that we could improve, and some things that struck out to you from our results. Of course, in this virtual format, we unfortunately aren't able to do the discussion share out as much as I would like, but feel free to reach out to me if you'd like to discuss a little bit more about what your results say about you and ways that you can incorporate some of the things that we're going to go over throughout this workshop. So now we're going to move on to some organization tips. The first one is to develop a routine. Consistency is a major component of student success. So write down your general weekly schedule and create a routine. Be sure to include the things that are most important for you, whether it be study time, time with friends, exercise time, class time, work time, and self-care time. Self-care time is definitely one that I often push off for other things, but man, can I tell you, it is so important to have a set schedule or routine for incorporating these times so you don't ever forget to include them in your routines in order to make sure that you are keeping up with your wellness, whether it be mental, physical, or emotional. The next tip is set rules for yourself. Set very specific rules to hold yourself accountable to. Some examples could be complete all projects and assignments at least 2 days before they are due, or spend 20 minutes a day practicing mindfulness, or even exercise at least 4 times a week. Every week I sit down and set some specific rules for myself for that specific week. While it's also okay to set down and set rules for yourself for the entire semester, I typically like to do it per week because often my priorities change a little bit depending on what I have coming up. So tip 3, work on one task at a time. Multitasking may seem like a good idea, but often the results aren't nearly as good as you would expect. Jumping back and forth can disrupt your focus and make it harder for you to receive the best outcomes. Instead, try writing a task you're working on down on a sticky note or a scrap piece of paper and use it to keep yourself focused when you get distracted. I know for me at my workstation, I put up a little note on my wall and pin it to it, and every time I feel myself getting distracted, whether it's surfing on my social media or looking at different things on the internet, I always just look back at that sticky note, give myself a few minutes to close out my things and refocus before I jump back in on that task. Tip 4. Use a planner in color code. Whether you use an online or a physical copy of a planner, it doesn't matter, but planners can be a huge help when staying organized in stressful times, especially when you have a lot of things to manage. I often use my online Apple Calendar, that way I have everything directly on my phone as well as my laptop, and I use my Passion Planner to stay organized. This so I have a physical copy and I get the gratification of checking things off a to-do list. I also have a specific color code I use because I hate using whiteout, I use erasable pens, markers, and highlighters to better organize my space without feeling a little bit more chaotic when I have to use whiteout or something else to kind of switch things around if things were to change. Tip 5. Invest in a Rocketbook. So every semester I would spend so much money on so many notebooks for each of my classes until I started using a Rocketbook. A Rocketbook is an erasable notebook that connects directly to your Google Drive. At the bottom of each page are different symbols that you can correlate to a different folder in your drive. So every time that you scan things in through the Rocketbook app, it will go directly to that folder. So all of your notes for one class can be immediately transferred over to that drive, so you know exactly where things are at any point. They're also erasable, so if you get a little cloth wet, and you wipe down the page, you can completely reuse the notebook. I've had my Rocketbook since I was a freshman in high school, and I am a senior in college now. So that is a true testament to the longevity of this product. Tip 6. Daily planning and decluttering. Spend 10 minutes each day reviewing what events you have to attend and what you want to get accomplished. Make a list and use that list to reference throughout the day to make sure you are on track and hold yourself accountable. Every morning, I do a morning meditation and a morning review of what I have going on for that day, so I feel better prepared mentally for what I hope to get accomplished. It also helps me organize what my priorities are and allows me to give some time to think about what I'm most looking forward to and what I need to focus a little bit more on finding positives about. So spend some time to declutter the things you've accumulated and clear out a space and clear your focus for important things. That's also something that 10-minute frame can use for, whether you clean up your room and clean up your space and get stuff ready for the day, or if you just focus on getting yourself mentally focused. Either way is a great way to get started and jumpstart your day on the best way possible. Tip 7. Learn to say no. As a college student, we often want to be involved in everything because the FOMO is completely real. However, it is important to set limits for yourself to make sure that all you're doing aligns with your priorities. If you set boundaries and protect them, everyone will respect them. So, sit down and figure out what things are most important for you to accomplish and what things aren't, what you can give and what you can take, and then establish those expectations with others and be sure to communicate those to them so they know that these are the things that you have to hold dear and what you have to focus on now, and that you'll make times for the other things later. Tip 8. Don't get discouraged. Often it can seem like things are going absolutely crazy in the heat of the semester when things are picking up, or when things are peaking during midterms or during finals week. But you just have to remember and stay true to the things that work best for you. Not all of these tips will be successful for the things that you do in your life, but having them in your arsenal for things that you can pull out to better make your life a little bit easier on the long term is always super helpful. So don't forget that you are awesome and that you're doing the best that you can. All you can do is do the next right thing. And by doing this, you are already 5 steps ahead. Thank you for coming to my presentation. I hope you guys learned something. If you need anything, please feel free to contact me at brooksin4@nku.edu. Bye.